is a delusion from which we can and we must awaken without delay. At the end of one of his poems, Rainer Maria Rilke states with almost shocking boldness, "You must change your life." This time, though, it's truer that we must change our lives, or, more precisely, we must change the ways in which we value life. Not just our own, all of our lives. Care for one another needs to be our highest priority. But how? What I am writing about here in this introduction, and in far greater depth in later pages, goes way beyond change your thinking, change your life. Awareness of self, of your potential for living life hopefully and meaningfully, arises through all your senses, including the common sense of reflecting on the immeasurable value of your own experiences and what you've learned from them. A new awareness of self, and also self and others, engages your instincts too, forgiving as well as receiving care and affection. It comes to life through what might be called soul qualities or soul depth, from where your deepest, most selfless connections so readily emerge. Ours is an age packed with contradictions. Never more people alive on this earth, never more loneliness. Never greater material wealth, never more evident spiritual poverty. Never more bombast in religion and politics, never less basic integrity. Never more instant global communication, never more people feeling irrelevant, unheard. Never more choices of work or career, never less workplace security. Never more certainty in the outpouring of relationship advice, never more confusion and relationship breakdown. Never more freedom to be yourself sexually and in gender terms. Never more anxiety about how you appear to other people. Never more clamoring theories about how you ought to live. Never less quiet to listen to the small, still voice within. In fact, as freeing as the explicit sections on intimacy and solitude are in this book, as well as the equally essential section on gender, it's quite possible the two key sections in this book that may support you most immediately are none of those three. It could be the first section, where I explore who your self is, and therefore the vital matters of how you see and experience others, and allow them to see and experience you. And/or it could be the last section on desire and desiring, where, through the language of your inner space, you can better understand what is particular to you as you move through this ever-changing, richly complex, and sometimes miraculous adventure we call life. In other words, reading or hearing this book is itself an experience of intimacy, just as writing it certainly was for me. You will read what's on these pages, or hear them, with something more than interest, I hope. Certainly, you're likely to be engaged by the honesty and courage, as well as the variety of stories that people told me during my years of close investigation. As you read, though, or listen, and as you reflect on the abundance of ideas and those many stories so generously shared, my even greater hope is that you will be reading, experiencing your own life in all its complex presence, as well as its magnificent and realizable potential. What's more, the invitations are explicit here to read your life in its wholeness, offering interest to what you might otherwise regret, acknowledging what grief, loss, or